Hey everyone, welcome to Hobby Hangouts this lovely Thursday where we hang out, we do our hobbies, and we do it all with myself and Dave from Painting Happ Lil Minis and Leona, the one, the only, the lovely, the herder of cats. I'm going to give you a new title each and every time. Herder of Cats, Wizard Behind the Curtain. But yeah, hi everyone in the chat. Hey Dave, Michael, Ryan, Jeff. It's nice because they're not overwhelming this time. I can just listen. Roger.
Hello.
But yeah, we're here, we're hanging out, and we're doing some hobbies. So share in the chat which hobbies you are doing with us, because as always, you're welcome to paint or create or do whatever your particular hobby is with us. And we're, I believe, all painting some minis again. I still have my dragon that I have more on the dragon. You can see a splurt of green back there. He's coming along slowly, slowly but surely. This dragon will get completed. I cheated on y'all. I joined another hobby night and worked more on him so I could try to maybe complete. Some swords friends of mine were having a hobby night. Since we can't really fight each other, I can't fight anyone with Bumfoot. And we all did some different creative things, and I worked more on my dragon.
Nice.
Dave, what are you doing?
I am going to be working on some, or a plague marine that I've been messing around with. I sent Leona some photos of a guy that I've been working on, so we'll be able to show that a little bit later. Oh, no, maybe now.
Right now.
Right now. So yeah, that's this guy that I've got. He's the champion of the squad. So this is the starting point for him. I spent a bit of time working on his enormous, gross belly. That got all sorts of separating sores on it. And started work on his armor, and normally for these guys, for Plague Marines, the standard kind of look is like a pale olive kind of green.
Okay.
For the armor plates. Sometimes you could do them with a green tinged white, kind of like my Chaos Knights that I did previously. But for these ones, because I wanted all of the really gross flesh to be very pale, I decided to go for a very dark sort of carapace, kind of look like an insect carapace.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so with this one, I can also be a little bit not sloppier, but sort of more painterly, I guess. I don't have to try and be as precise because I'm sort of messing around with a look that will hopefully exaggerate certain shapes, give a bit more sort of volume and depth to them. So yeah, this one, that shot there is with most of the armor done on him, where I've gone sort of taking it up to sort of almost a white at the tips of the armor plates where I wanted the focus to be, and but yeah, then all the way back to black in the deepest shadows. So
and the belly.
And the belly. But yeah, so I'm working on a different guy today. I painted his armor black, and then I put the P3 Privateer Press P3 coal black over all of his armor plates. And now I'm actually jumping, rather than doing my highlighting in slow steps forward, I'm sort of jumping a couple of steps and sketching in where I want those highlights to be. So that I can sort of break my comfort zone a little bit, and then I can jump ahead a little bit further and focus on those highest highlights, and then I can start to work everything back together in a sort of smoother sort of state. But it give me a little bit more of a dramatic kind of finish. The guy I'm working on at the moment doesn't have a lot of exposed flesh, but the exposed flesh he does have is kind of scary.
His eyes, they're scary.
No, he doesn't have exposed eyes. He has like a little, like a tail kind of thing that is also a little bit like a like a really scary. And when I say scary, not like oh it's coming for me kind of thing, but like ooh that's gross,
Nasty.
nasty.
That was a good voice, Dave.
Like oh that's gross. But they're kind of like the tail of an insect of some kind.
Gotcha.
Whatever the abdomen, I guess.
I understand what you mean by scary. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Because it's also leaking a little bit of fluid at the bottom of it.
That's
Ooh.
gross.
Ooh,
Yeah.
gotta love those. Leaking. What a word.
Leaking. So yeah, so I'm just messing around with that today. I'm pretty excited to get onto sort of doing this kind of painting where it's rather than start at the darkest and work up to the lightest.
It's a little bit of mix and match.
It's jumping back and forth to
That's cool.
get it going. So yeah, something fun.
Also, we say hi to Keith in the chat. Michael Harris has been painting so many miniatures lately and just realized that I haven't been posting them. You should post them in the group.
And a group shot of them all.
Oh yeah, a group shot.
Yeah.
Selfie with your minis. A Facebook user says, hello all. If you're watching through our group on StreamYard, be sure to let StreamYard have access to your profile because then I'll be able to see who you are. Good times. Dave Moffat says, I'm building an Escher's gang today. 2 more ladies and an Ambot to go.
Oh, cool.
Very nice.
Ambots are all sorts of fun.
Are they big, small?
They're pretty reasonable size. Like they're big, just big robots. They're kind of like the ABC warriors from 2000 AD.
Gotcha.
Or like Judge Dredd.
Nice. Cool. Roger Moore says, sadly, I'm still on my last mini for Legends of Drizzt. Hopefully, in the next day or two, it will be done. I took a part-time job at a friend's game store.
That's fun.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah.
That's a good excuse, Roger.
We will allow it, Roger, but next week, you gotta have it.
I'll give you to the week after.
Dave will give you 2 weeks. I will give you 1 week. And then we need to see pictures in the Painting Happ Lil Minis group, Facebook group.
Excellent. Cool.
Oh, also Kat says, oh, Gretchen, you wanton loose woman joining others. How dare you join other friends? Only here where we paint happy.
Yeah.
They were happy, more or less.
I'm kind of disappointed it's only one other group.
Well, there's a craft night, which is usually when I am doing something else. The time for that always doesn't match up for me. And then there was the impromptu hobby night, where we all Zoomed and talked and did our hobbies. And then there's the Thursday night group, which isn't technically a hobby group. It's just a friend group.
Right.
But most people end up doing some kind of hobby
Right.
on it as well. I've had some minis pass that way.
That's awesome.
So
That is cool.
It's such a fun way to connect, you know, even though because at this point it's like sometimes you're like, I don't know when I'm going to see my friend if I don't like just jump on this Zoom call and chat with them for a little bit and paint some minis. So that's so fun.
I'm the person who's always like, I don't wanna, and then I get on the Zoom call till like 2 a.m. Because I can't shut up.
Then you don't want to leave.
Then I'm like one of the last people there because I'm just like, no, well now I'm here and I'm awake. And I usually have like my coffee or something going. So
Aw. There is here I'll check the chat before I go into my story. Also, hello to Byron. Hello to Spider-Man from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hello.
And also hello to Sumkey. Oh, we have a question. Ding ding. I need a sound for a question. So sounds in the chat. Sound recommendations in the chat. Question, Dave. Do you build up to an extreme highlight or work down from an extreme highlight? Or do you change it depending on what you are painting?
The last one. I change it depending on what I'm painting.
Okay. Like if you were to talk about like the highlight on the guy that we were just looking at right now, like this guy.
Yep.
Did you build up to that?
So yeah, I started with black, put on the P3 coal black, and mixed in some white, but I didn't mix in just a little bit. I mixed in some. I didn't mix in a lot. So I took a big step towards extreme highlight, then another big step towards extreme highlight, and then started stepping my way back down.
Okay.
And blending those things back in, I guess. Is the best way to describe that. But I wanted to have kind of a little bit of a shimmer kind of look. So like a carapace. So almost like doing having a pearlescent kind of feel without using pearlescent.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe not smooth, but
like reflecting the light the way that
a
the
little
bug shell would. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Very shiny, not quite iridescent bugs.
Yeah.
And so Gretchen, I feel like because you've been working on your dear dragon building up to highlights, is that kind of what you've been doing?
So
on that guy?
This dragon has been an experiment. The whole thing has been kind of an experiment. So for parts of it, I've built up highlights. For other parts of it, I have kind of gone back and forth because I'm really trying to get that glow from within vibe, which I have yet to decide the easiest way to have gotten that. Like on the large surfaces, it's a lot easier to just build up to those highlights.
Okay.
Because all of the spines on the back are so close together, I have been building up to the highlights with a gradient and then going back through with all of the shadows and then going back over again with highlights in order to try to get the effect that I want. Which the more clustered together everything is, the more difficult I'm finding it. Because every time I go in to touch something up with my brush, I hit something else and then I ruin it.
Yeah.
So I haven't found the magic cheat yet of trying to paint spinally crystals. If you know the magic cheat, feel free to share it.
I'm going to suggest there is no magic cheat for this one. I know. I'm sorry.
How dare.
Dave, you got me all excited. You raised your hand. I was like, share with the class, Dave. What's the magic technical cheat for this?
So to get it to look like the work that you've done up on the spines around the head, to get it to continue to look like that, it's just a lot of
work.
It's slow-moving process.
It's
I've been trying to
repetitive.
figure out a way to speed this up for you guys so much.
That's okay.
But it's so slow because the spines are so close together. Every single time I get one spine right and I go to paint another spine, I mess up my first spine.
Right.
Gotcha. I'm understanding.
One step forward, two steps back. Hopefully I get it all done and then I can just I have my shifter that actually has an emerald green and I tested it out over on my palette and did some of the really dark teal and put some of it over it. And I really like how that works since I want this to kind of emulate emeralds. So I think if I end up happy with how, if I can do what I have on the head, which I think looks nice, on the rest of the dragon, and then use that shifter paint on top, I think I'm going to end up getting something that, even if it's not a perfect, even if it's not perfectly how I wanted it in like my brain space, I think it will emulate emeralds very well. if I can get that. And this has a bit of a glaze to it too, so I can get that shine without having to do all of those pinpoint highlights that would be on crystals normally. Because I think with the posing of the dragon, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that without a light source that's going to look nice at every angle. I think it'll look nice in certain angles, but I don't think it will be able to really reflect the proper angles.
Yeah.
And I think the pearl or whatever, the shining.
Yeah, the shiny bit, the
shimmer will give that illusion.
Yep.
Angles are hard. Crystals are difficult. I started this with a lot of confidence because I hate painting crystals in like normal situations. I was like, crystals suck in 2D. They'll be better in 3D. And I was wrong. They just suck no matter how you paint them because they're geometric. And I don't like painting geometric things.
They're wonderful to photograph.
They're great to photograph. There we go.
They do. All the photographs have been really fun that you've sent.
Yep.
That's because I can just tilt the dragon to the side of the face that looks really nice. The other side of the face I'm just doing in shadow because its wings there, and I'm just gonna be like, that's the shadow land. Everywhere the light touches is yours to paint, but not that one.
But here's the Shadowland. It's like a line in the photo. Real quick, I wanted to shout out to the chat. We have Thomas here. Hello. Roger Moore says, thanks, Dave, for that extended 2-week time. I'm still looking for that week. Spider-Man says he's been cleaning up some more Death May Die minis for painting this weekend, which is great.
Cool.
Sumkey says, Leona, the meme boss of mini painting. You've got 1 week or you're mini fired. Which is true. I think my power is truly mini. I think that's all I have. Justin Keys says, good morning to you all. Hope you have been well. Good morning to you. It is afternoon here, but it's pretty good weather.
It's where?
As Dave tries to find the time, Ryan, I am working on a wood elf from Reaper Miniatures.
It's 4:20 a.m. where Booster is, where Justin.
Why are you awake?
Justin, I'm going to put your name back up here. How? Why?
He's probably at work.
At work?
Yeah. That's my guess.
Okay, that's fair. I shouldn't judge, your life, but I am not. But
she is.
I am not up at 4 a.m.
I used to work at 4 a.m. That wasn't a fun time. I made friends with the 7-Eleven guy, so I would get in at like 3:30 at the 7-Eleven because it was 24 hours.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't talk to me. He was older and he was great. He wouldn't talk to me till after I paid and had my first sip of coffee. And then he'd be like, good morning. Good morning. You're working your early shift again. And one day his son tried to talk to me before I had got my coffee, and he stopped him. He was like, no, you do not talk to her before coffee.
That's lovely.
It was. I was like, yes.
He was watching out for you.
Yes, he was a good man. I was like, this man gets it. His son didn't, but he did.
Byron says pretty soon Halloween decorations, which is true. I've talked about Halloween with my friend already, even though
I've been seeing some Halloween. I imagine this Halloween's going to be really fun. I feel it in my soul.
It's going to be big this year.
Well, we were joking. I had a friend over the other night, and we joked that we know there's going to be trick-or-treaters regardless.
That's true.
So we're just going to hand out Purell.
That's smart.
Purell and masks. Just chuck it at them from across the way.
Oh, Kat says, Dave, thanks for the TTT Kickstarter update this morning. Just so you know.
Yep.
We have our dear friend Zeberman. Sabiram. Howdy, friends. And Jimmy asks, have you ever tried using a pearlescent paint ad? Wait. Have you ever tried using the pearlescent paint ad over? I recently found some and used it on a unicorn to give it a glittering, shimmering from all angles.
So I have used the shifters over an entire mini before to add that pearlescent effect, that glittery effect to the mini, and it turned out really well. In watercolors, I have a pearlescent medium that I add to things that I can just add to any color. That way, no matter what I want to be glittery, it's the right color. I do like the Vallejo shifters. They kind of almost have, depending on what you're putting them on, the darker the color, the more it has kind of like a galaxy oil slick effect. So if you use it over a really dark color, you're gonna get more of that, more of whatever color is inside of it really peeking through. If you use it over a lighter color, I imagine that like the green one here is gonna have a little bit more of just a slight sheen. But yeah, I like glitter. Everything can have glitter. It's fine.
I think if I remember correctly, you used it on one of the cyberpunk minis that we had gotten in the studio. No.
Yes.
Yeah, cyberpunk, I think.
Shadowrun?
Shadowrun. Thank you.
Shadowrun.
It was actually Shadowrun minis that we used it on. And because those were sci-fi, space, kind of dark, it really worked, that oil slick.
Yeah. I think it's something to play with. Like I said, I tested it out on my palette first. I let some of the darkest color I was using dry, and then I put it there to see how it would pick it up. Because I fully believe in, like, if you don't care, obviously with this dragon, I am experimenting and having fun. And I did say I would give it away, good or bad. So good luck with that, guys. Like if you're working on a mini that you don't feel comfortable just experimenting on, slapping some paint on your palette, letting it dry, doing the different techniques if it's applicable to a flat surface, and just kind of testing it out. Yeah, like that's a really easy way to make sure you're not going to end up doing something that you don't like color-wise.
Right. Yeah.
Dave, do you have any experience with Pearl?
I must admit I don't, because I lack whimsy, as we've discussed before. So, no,
Pearlescent medium, not with my Tinny Tin Tin.
Yeah, I think as Tinny Tin is as pearl as it gets.
Well, as I get. Yeah. I think I probably have tried it at some point, and didn't like the result, so haven't gone back to it. But it is fun to be experimenting on something that would give a similar look without actually using it. So.
Well, and I feel like with a unicorn, that's a perfect place to use it.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like unicorns, fairies, anything ethereal. Like that's
anything whimsical, right?
Anything whimsical.
Whimsical. Yeah.
I just need a T-shirt that says "Bring in the whimsy."
Bring in the whimsy.
Dave needs a T-shirt that says "Paint liquor," and I need a T-shirt that says "Bring in the whimsy." Our fall fashion line for Painting Happ Lil Minis.
Awesome. Speaking of cool painting shirts, I picked up this shirt just recently.
Oh, I will show everyone. Ah, that's great.
It's obviously it's the like the Andre. It's a play on the Andre the Giant Obey graphic.
Awesome.
The when was that created? 90s, 80s or 90s?
If it's Andre the Giant, probably the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I mean, he didn't create it. Somebody just used a line drawing. But this line drawing is based on the Golden Demon statue from Games Workshop, from the Golden Demon competition. So it's a fun sort of painting t-shirt.
That's awesome. Yes, you too can have paint merch.
I didn't create this. This I think Neil paints on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
So yes.
By the way, Justin is at work.
Yeah. Boo.
Boo. Jeff Smith is working on a fourth.
But we're technically at work.
True, but it's also 2 p.m. Jeff Smith is working on a 4th scale Hellboy bust. That's cool. Wait.
Was that just me? Did anybody else see Leona go a little bit laggy there?
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Maybe.
You have that little trill.
Dave, that's just my natural way. I always have a trill.
I'm not so sure. But anyway, keep going.
Am I still lagging?
No, you're good now.
Okay. So that is what David, some key says hand sanitizer for Halloween is this year's toothpaste, which I agree with. Byron asks, will there be
still add candy?
Oh yeah.
Spray them.
Don't spray the candy. Please don't spray the candy.
Did you say
The children.
Persil flavored candy?
Everyone can just
It's just mint.
What is it that Byron's working on?
No, they were asking if there will be a monster paint kit for the Icewind campaign, and I do not know the answer to that. I know that WizKids is coming out with a couple paint kits this season.
Okay.
This coming season, that hopefully we will be able to showcase on the show, because they had like a paint night thing going on.
Yep.
But because a lot of hobby stores aren't able to have people in their hobby space the same way, they're coming out with these individual paint kits. So that will be launching in a month or two. So keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
I don't know exactly if that's related specifically to the Icewind campaign. That's a new D&D book that just came out.
Yeah.
For those of you who may not be familiar with that. David Moffat said, I used my first color shifting paint on a Necron. It's Turbo Dork's Bubblegum Crisis. It's spectacular. I wish I could show it off better in the pics. That is the one thing about color shift, is it looks amazing in person, and it's very hard to show on a picture.
Yeah.
I think you have to have a little motion graphic where you
video, yeah. For sure.
Ryan says, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that dragon, Gretchen. I have a space all set aside for it on the shelf.
Remember, good or bad.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is very true. So for those of you who are watching, let us know what you have been working on, if you are currently working on a project or have just finished one. And also let us know if you have any questions in terms of mini painting, maybe things you've been working on this past weekend that you came across and you're like, oh my gosh, I really need help figuring that out. Type it in the chat, tip, and we will see if we can help you out.
Leona, I want to gift you a thing of sound effects.
I know. I feel like today, I don't know why, I'm really channeling. David Moffat said I should do a car screech for a question. Which I will.
We've got a question.
Yeah, I will not.
Not a car screech, but
I think in my other life I wanted to be a Foley artist, but like a vocal Foley artist. No, I'm not just creating the sound; it's coming from me. So. Oh, hi, Wacky. Afternoon. Good to see you.
Excellent.
And also, Justin said, I'm currently ruining a squad of Deathwatch Space Marines.
I find that hard to believe.
Don't say such things.
I'm sure he's actually ruining some Dark Angels.
Hey! That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is Awesome. Oh, also Jimmy says, I'm working on a Goliath barbarian. He wears all black and that white fur in remembrance to his fallen tabaxi comrade. That was white and black.
Oh.
That's awesome. That is very thoughtful.
Yep, that's very cool.
And Justin says soundboards are essential in any workplace. And I agree with that. I don't really know how soundboards work in terms of streaming, but if I did, I would 100% hook them up.
You would totally be in on that.
Yes. Oh, Dave's getting notifications.
Yep. I put together a whole bunch. So I was working on the Gellerpox infected, which were the models from the Rogue Trader Kill Team box. So we talked about the flies and the mites and the worms and all that kind of stuff. Then I moved on to doing a whole bunch of conversions for Plague Marines, which are also for 140,000 Nurgle Plague Marines. And then I remembered, or something probably, and I remembered that so Games Workshop does these blind buys called Space Marine Heroes.
Okay.
And the first season, I think we painted some on the show.
We did. I actually have one right here.
All right.
You do. He's separated, but
absolutely prepared.
I know, right?
That's the Terminator from season 2.
Oh, season 2, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So season 1 was Ultramarines. Season 2 was Blood Angel Terminators.
Oh, he did not just fall. It's fine.
Like models across the room. Season 3 has only been released in, I say season 3, series 3 has only been released in Japan, where the other 2 were first trial.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, I kind of really want these really hard to get Plague Marines now. And so I asked some of the guys in my hobby group, my Friday night hobby group, if anybody had some, and one of them, my friend Damon, was like, yeah, totally. I got some of those. I was going to I don't want them anymore. Do you want them? And I was like, yep, that'd be great. And he was like, I have a bunch of other Plague Marine stuff as well. And I was like, okay, tell me what you got. And he told me, I said, okay, how much for all of it? He gave me a price. I said, send via PayPal, click. And so he was just sending me the notification, like, here's the tracking number.
Oh, I see.
So on Monday, I will have more Plague Marines.
Very nice.
Because I don't already have a lot of other things to paint.
You're adding to your shelf of opportunity.
Yes. Basement of opportunity.
Basement of opportunity.
Shelves are full.
Now it's a pile of opportunity?
Yes. Yes, indeed. But cool.
That's awesome. Oh, Wacky says, I'm looking through D&D stuff for my character and coloring dragons.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
Sumkey says, you need to channel your inner Michael Winslow for sound effects.
Michael Winslow. That's what I was going to, yeah.
And then Kat says, Leona, if you want a massive number of sound effects of all kinds, borrow someone's small child. Unlimited noises. Oh, yes. That is an accurate thing. And Spider-Man says, bookshelf of opportunity. Dave, I feel like you have multiples of those in your basement.
Actually, and this, I think this entire box that's up here is full of, this one is full of Warhammer 30,000.
Oh gosh.
Death Guard. So.
It's fine.
Yeah. One of the things that I finally sort of worked out over the weekend, in all my years of painting, is there are times when I do mechanical painting. Most of the time I do mechanical painting.
Okay.
I have a piece, I know where the colors are going to go and what order they're going to go on in. So it's it's a mechanical, repetitive kind of process. So go through and paint 4 or 5 or 10 or 15 models at a time, and it's a production line mechanical thing. These guys, the ones that I'm messing around with now, where I'm trying that much more extreme contrast, it's very much not mechanical because I haven't done it before. And also, each of the models, while they have similar surfaces, so they have similar textures, they have the flesh, they have the armor plates, they have cloth areas, they have chainmail.
Right.
And I'm going to paint them essentially in the same fashion because the models are so very different and the pieces of armor are in different places at different angles. It means that I have to think a lot more about them. And it's kind of fun to break up all that mechanical painting with just some experimental painting, I guess.
That is cool. And it makes sense because they're all different. So they're so different with their shape that you wouldn't be able to apply.
Yeah. Yep.
You're applying the same techniques, but you're not able to just be like, boop, 2, 1, 2. As you said, like your hands can't be just going 1, 2, 3, da, 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 da. You're actually having to like really think about it.
Yep. I mean, I painted up, I did some work on some, we find it, one that's painted, there we go. The Cerberus sulfur hounds, which are mechanical steeds for the Adeptus Mechanicus. And
nice.
This guy, he's kind of like a gunslinger. He's got 2 pistols that he's firing, and the head of the steed is a like a flamethrower.
Okay, you know,
because why not? It's all grimdark, but yeah, I've got like 9 of those. So, and the riders, the steeds and the riders are all essentially the same. It's the same shape of armor in the same place. So there's a lot of mechanical process to that.
Gotcha. So you're like, let's not do that. Let's be creative.
Let's take a break from the mechanical. I'll get back to the mechanical for sure. But
not today.
Not today. But a little bit earlier, I sent you a photo. You know?
Yes.
Of
I actually do have it. I was just trying to get that.
So this
real quick, Mark Banner. I just want to shout out. Hello, thank you for watching, and then also said thanks for the bookshelf mini from Free RPG Day.
Cool, excellent.
That's awesome.
I enjoyed it, Mark. Very cool. It's been honestly, it's been a lot of fun. Like when I opened up Instagram and somebody is like, "Hey, check out this booklet and this bookshelf that I got from Free RPG Day. Thanks, 𝙬𝙬𝙀 Miniatures."
Yeah, that's so awesome. For those of you who might not know, Dave actually helped put together a little paint tutorial for a Mantic Mini that was available for Free RPG Day, which was July 25th. Yeah. Here we go. There he is. A library.
So, yeah. Very exciting.
Yay. We would love to see it, Mark, if you're able to paint that up and put it in the group. We would love
post it in the group,
to be able to see that. I have your photo that you would like to talk about, Dave.
Okay, cool. So if you can zoom in a little bit.
Yep.
On the sort of on the shoulder pad and
kind of here?
There. Yeah. So you can see in there kind of what I'm talking about with when I talk about painterly.
Gotcha, yeah.
So I think normally, like I maybe not ideally, but I think there's a lot of us who would like to be able to push our painting skills to be able to have very, very smooth blends where we don't see brush strokes. There's just a very subtle sort of increase from the darkest to lightest color. But for this particular technique, I'm messing around a little bit more with that painterly approach. So you can see those much larger steps between the two, between each thing. So Leonard, if you can just mess around with your mouse near the, leave it there. But yeah, you can see the back of the shoulder pad has, so that's the the P3 coal black, and then with some white mixed into it. Is that next lightest color?
Okay.
And then some more mixed in.
A lot.
Yeah, quite a lot there. You can see those are fairly big jumps. And I've gone with stripes that kind of follow the shape of the shoulder pad to give that impression that it's almost like a polished sort of surface. If you go out and look at like hubcaps or cars, it's typically the place where you'll see that sort of look. Maybe not hubcaps, but like aluminum wheels and that kind of thing. Things that are polished and machined. But it gives that kind of feel. So that was my initial sort of stage. Just go in, paint the base color, paint that next big jump, and then that next jump after that. Now I'm going back and blending in between the two, but keeping those brush strokes
right here
to keep that kind of reflective sort of feel. And one of the other things that I did is, so if you can just slide it so you can see the hand, like the wrist and the hand.
Yep. You
can see I followed that line through onto there.
Yeah.
And now I can go and pull that aside, so pull those highlights down to the side, either side of that line to give that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you can see it. Right.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah. So if you zoom back out for a sec, and
yeah. Nice.
I think it's that sort of feel. And on the so just
because you kind of pre-painted that white line, and now you're going back in with the different colors. So in this case, you did start with the highest.
No. It's just I ran up on the that top part on the shoulder pad where you can see that very thin line. No, up a little bit. Yep, that one there. That's just a bit of overpainting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like
very cool.
Overpainting, but yeah. So hopefully I'll send you another shot before the end of the show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You can see a little bit more of that kind of feel. And you can also sort of see on the thigh plate.
Yes. Right here?
Yeah, just in there. Same sort of thing, but because it's lower and it wouldn't get as much light as the shoulder pad, the line is a little bit thinner.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit smaller. But yeah, then I'll just sort of work that out from there. So it's kind of sketching things in at first and then going in and blending them back into place. Yeah,
that's a good way to think about doing it.
Yeah. There are some folks around that do a really great job of that kind of approach. James Wapple is one who does a great sort of sketch approach, and Matt DiPietro is another wonderful painter from Miniature Monthly, who has a whole style that he calls like sketch style. So
cool.
It's definitely really neat to check out.
I'm definitely a fan of artistic styles where you can tell the medium.
Yeah.
That you're using. I really enjoy things where you can still, like charcoal, where you can still see the sketch lines, and inky things where you can see the ink.
Yep. It's definitely cool to be able to appreciate that and see how it can be applied to those sort of things can be applied to miniature painting.
Would you all like to take a look at minis from the group?
Yes, I would always love to take a look at minis.
Gretchen, can you talk a little bit about the minis we're going to be showing? Like where people can find them and stuff?
Oh, I was like, I have not seen the minis.
You're like, no.
I was like, Leona, did you forget to send me an email?
Sorry.
I was going to say, Leona, that's kind of what we do when we...
If you would like to see your minis on Hobby Hangouts, or whenever we get back to the studio and can film Painting Happy Little Minis, you can post your minis in the Painting Little Happy Minis group on Facebook. And every week, Leona goes through and she pulls the minis that are there, and we talk about them on the show. So if you would like a chance at that, go ahead, put up your minis. We love to see your minis.
We love them.
Metaphorically putting them all on my fridge.
All right. So first we have David
McKee. Yep.
Painting their first bust, which Dave actually talked about this last week, but I kind of wanted us to talk about it this week.
Right. Yep. No, it's definitely a super cool. A, it's a cool bust, and B, Dave's done a great job on it for his first time painting a bust. The colors that are in there are super cool. Right. I say cool, I mean they're excellent, but that you got that really vibrant green skin is bouncing well off the red in the hair.
Yeah.
And the orange in the hair is working well against the blue on the on what she's wearing, her bra, and her sort of crown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, the orange and the red aren't super saturated. They kind of desaturated a little bit, which works well against like opposite. The hair is the brown on the inside of the bracer there, which is also desaturated, allowing that saturated green to be the focus. So definitely cool. And one of the toughest things with going from painting 28mm miniatures or smaller up to painting a bust like this, which is probably like a 75mm scale, is that typically the first time around you go in and paint using exactly the same techniques, but they're techniques that work well at this size, and they don't necessarily translate to something that's 3 times that size. Gotcha. So, and there are things that you can do at 3 times that size that you couldn't fit into a smaller mini. So I think with this one, I
lips.
yeah. I think with this one, I suggested to Dave that into some of the shadows on the skin, sort of deeper, sort of desaturated red. Okay. So it's one of those things. I mean, when we look at people's skin is never a uniform color. There's always lots of other shades and hues that are in there. Some people have a bit more of an olive tinge, or there might be a bit of pink or purplish, or if they've got veins that are close to the surface and they've got very pale skin, you'll see blues and greens. So something that obviously work against the green is a red, and because you've got that saturated green, a desaturated red would be a good balance for it.
Nice.
But,
that's awesome.
Yeah. But no,
very good.
It's fantastic. I mean, for a first bust, that's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like first bust, you're like, wow, it's amazing.
Do more.
That always happens on here, where someone's like, this is the first time I've ever done anything, and you look at it and it's beautiful, and you're like, what?
Keep going.
Nice work.
We have Andrew with I've loved painting this vampire.
Yeah, this vampire is super cool.
Lovely. Speaking of Halloween, it's wonderful.
Yep. I think one of the things I loved about this was the almost sort of monochromatic feel.
Yes.
So it's all that the black of the robes, the very pale skin is almost white, just like the snow on the base, but it's just has that slight pinkish tinge to it, which is balanced nicely against that against the bodice. So yeah, I think it was really good job on this one.
For using so much black, very successful.
Yep. One of the other things that I like, if you can just zoom back in a little bit, on the bottom of the robes, bottom of her skirt there, because that's coming out and onto a flatter surface, you notice that's catching more, like he's painted the highlights more. There are more highlights on that area, then up around sort of underneath the bodice, which is not catching a lot of light. So yeah, definitely kudos there, Andrew, for picking that out. Yeah,
looking good. We also have David Hummel, a very happy little mini from way back in 2010.
No.
And I wanted to showcase this because even though, you know, it's not recent, it's okay if you haven't painted in a while. It's kind of fun to look at the stuff you have painted.
Yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're just proud of something, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is a very cool Space Marine mini. I think originally it was a White Scars character. White Scars are one of the chapters, but Dave's repainted him in a different scheme. But yeah, looking really good, Dave. Pretty sure Dave's done some painting since then, but
yeah, I think he has.
but it's definitely cool to go back and check out your old paint jobs for sure.
Shout out to old paint jobs.
Yeah.
Tim Patterson, who I believe is a new member. Welcome, Tim. And also he showed us his work in progress to see if anyone had any criticism.
So this one I checked as well. You know, I just mentioned that the previous model was a White Scars character model. This is a White Scars paint scheme.
Oh, okay.
So large areas of white armor plates and red trim is the kind of their scheme. Yeah.
Very nice.
No, it looks great. Smooth painting.
Yep. Definitely cool. I think the suggestion I had here was that either the chest eagle there or the tilting shield. No, not the big one, but the small shield up there. Yep. Not sure. I wasn't sure which one, but there's a lot of red going on around there. So the red helmet, the red trim on the shoulder pads, the chest eagle's red, the shield is red. That I think one of those could do with being maybe something that's like a dark blue, or like blue black or green black kind of thing. I think that would help break up a lot of that red that's around there, and also add punch some cool colors back in there. But yeah, but I really like the treatment of the gold, the bone. Everything's working pretty well.
That makes sense with the cool color.
Yeah.
One of these, and then even you could use. Would you recommend using like a cool color for the shadows?
You could do that. Yeah, definitely. Whatever that color that you used for either the shield or the chest eagle. Yeah, you could then go and use that in the shadows on the red. Definitely. Very nice.
We do appreciate it.
Good, Tim. That's one of the Blade Guard veterans from the Indomitus 40K box. One of the new box from GW.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, this guy is popular. You will see him later. I think 3 other people posted that many. We have Ryan Cook with the Labyrinth board game by River Horse Games.
Oh, we painted this.
It's just so good.
I still have David Bowie's hidden away somewhere.
Nice.
Waiting.
Did you paint Sarah as well?
I don't know if I painted Sarah. I know I painted Bowie because I kept Bowie.
Yeah.
I
think I did.
Sarah.
I think I did.
So I'm gonna finish painting Bowie at one point because I just wanted to add glitter to the crystal orb.
Right.
But I actually was gonna use him for a Christmas ornament and stick him in there in like a little diorama, since like the goblin little glass orb, and have it all set up to kind of mimic it, and then give it to a friend for Christmas.
That'd be awesome.
That's a great idea.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with Ryan's ability to put features on the faces.
Yep.
Like look at that purple that he was able to put.
Yep. And you probably got the eyes as well, right?
Ludo looks so wonderful.
Yep. Ludo looks more like real in life, like than the character in the film.
Yeah.
I think Ryan's done awesome job there.
It's true.
Yeah.
I love it. Great job, Brian.
Great
really
work.
nice, really nice work. Jason with my first real attempt with basing.
Oh.
We had seen the bear earlier, but they hadn't finished the base, so now the base is complete.
Cool.
All right.
Basing's always a fun one. So many different ways to tackle it.
I feel like there's much less pressure on basing. Like terrain, usually you can't. It's very hard to mess up terrain.
I'm gonna.
Dave says nay.
No, part of me agrees.
Put it in the chat, people. Terrain. Is it difficult?
Is it difficult?
Because it's like I'm gonna quote one of the people that helped inspire Painting Happ Lil Minis. Happy little trees. It's nature. It's organic. It's very like if you mess up putting a rock somewhere, then that's just where the rock happens to be.
That's true. I think are you gonna say, Leona?
I was just gonna say when it comes to basing, it doesn't always require as many paint strokes, and so you can easily make it look like a tile or a rock or something like that, but this rock could easily also just kind of look like a blob, so you still have to be thinking about what you're doing.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to think about what you're doing. There's a thing where like when you're painting an army or you're painting a large group of models, the two things that you want to make sure you get right: faces and bases. That's what people look at. A really well painted miniature on a terrible base is going to look terrible.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
An averagely painted miniature on a reasonable, like an averagely painted base, is going to look good. So,
but I feel like if you mess up the base, you can just paint it black.
That is true.
Yeah,
you can't do that with a mini.
I think with bases, you've got a little bit more opportunity to rework the base. But anyway, I think Jason's doing a really good job here, going beyond that simple black base kind of approach. So yeah, I think you got three different approaches there: the cobblestones, the sand, and the grass and rock. I think
looking good.
Yeah, definitely. Basing is important, and I think you're doing a good job there, Jace.
Justin says, "Speak for yourself. I can ruin anything."
So down on yourself, man.
David says terrain is hard to get going with. I have 1.5 million finished terrain. 1 million half-finished terrain projects. And then Byron says leaves on terrain and lava on terrain. Two pretty difficult things to paint. Just to add.
I'm just over here like throw some dirt on it.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Rub some dirt in and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Our next mini is by Joel, and he thinks he's more of a spiffy kind of scientist rather than a crazed man or fly.
Yeah.
I appreciate this.
This is a super cool model and a great job there. I think that mini's wild. I don't know where that's from. But
yeah, they did not say.
But Joel, you've done an excellent job there. It looks really cool and a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the saturation of colors.
The archetype of like unexpectedly prim scientists or creatures that are like typically scary, but the character isn't like.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's unexpected.
Yeah.
Like he's just a nice guy.
He's just a nice guy, and he happens to be a fly.
One of the it's cool to see that model, because one of the models that I'm about to work on sometime over the next couple of weeks is a like a sorcerer for the Plague Marines who has a fly head.
Oh.
And Joel.
Sorry. Did you want to show it?
No, that's okay. That's okay. Where Joel's painted the dark green.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm going to be doing my coal black carapace kind of painting. And my plan was to do red eyes. And I was like, I'm not sure. I wonder how they'll look. Maybe they won't look very good. But now it's just like, I'm totally doing red eyes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that Joel even added a little bit of orange up at the top.
Yep.
To help with that saturation.
Yep. But no, it just looks really good, Joel.
Yeah, it's looking great. Ryan thinks that this mini might be from Reaper.
Yeah, that's probably a good bet.
Josh Parker with some Teenage Ninja.
Teenage
Ninja Turtles.
TMNT.
Oh, it's been a long day. All right, he cannot decide on the bases. So, people in the chat, tell us, what bases should these
Pizza
bases?
There were some great suggestions in the comments, and I think Josh might have gone for sewer lid bases.
Okay.
But yeah, somebody definitely suggested pizza, and they like showed him a 3D printed pizza.
That's incredible.
So you could do all of them on that. But I think I would have gone for the sewer bases, and you found that. And I think I linked to a Secret Working Miniatures. They do resin bases, and they have resin bases that are like a town square kind of thing, so almost cobblestone kind of look.
Okay.
But they have sewer lids as well embedded in there.
Lovely.
So you wouldn't just be standing on a sewer lid, or a manhole cover, I guess. But yeah. Oh, David Moffat says brick.
Yep, brick. Them turtle boys straight from the sewers.
Yeah, yeah. If you're able to do like a little curved brick kind of thing, where like down the bottom you could then put some like a yucky, greeny, browny sludge.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Some sort of slime.
Yeah.
That would be great.
It's funny how neither one of us wanted to say poop.
Well,
slime.
Yeah, slime.
Sewer slime. That's called sewage.
Sewer slime? Sewer juice?
Yep.
It's all good.
Ooh, that doesn't.
I do have to shout out Josh and his M&M minis base holder, like mini holders, because like shout out to M&M minis. Like that's such a great candy. I love those things. So
awesome.
You use whatever you can have. You know, you have around the house. It's great. All right, we have Old Wolf Studios with a Space Wolf Contemptor Dreadnought.
This is wild. Yeah, because it doesn't usually come with an enormous axe and a shield.
Oh my goodness.
So Jeff's done a lot of conversion work on.
Wow. I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
So the Contemptor has these great fists that have fingers that you can pose really well. You can have them gripping different things. So Jeff's gone and created that axe and shield, and an awesome job. Can you zoom in on the head for a little?
Yes, I can, sir. Zoom in on the head.
Zooming in.
Here we are.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the other elements there are actually probably from Forge World. Again, Workshop's sort of resin. So all of that decoration there with the chain and the little fetishes hanging off it, and the wolf skull in there. But yeah, looking really good, Jeff. Super cool.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
Very nice. Is it wintry? This is snow, yes?
Yeah. The Space Wolves are
Space Wolf. Okay, yep.
From a very wintry planet called Fenris.
So with this question time,
yep.
With this fine line we see right here.
Yep.
Is that dry brushed?
No, that would
hand?
That's by hand, but it's edge highlighting. So what Jeff would have done there is, because those two planes come together in a sharp point.
Yes.
At a 90-degree angle. Rather than trying to paint a thin line down that thin edge, if you get some paint on your brush and you turn it on its side, so you work rather than painting up the line or down the line, you turn your brush on the side and then move it along so that the paint just catches on the edge.
Gotcha.
So you do that kind of motion, or
The reason I'm asking is because I want to get that clean line on this water dancer, or not water dancer, but she's just a dancer on her fabric.
Right.
And I really want that line, and I could not figure out how to do it.
To do that along the edge, along the sides of the fabric.
Yeah.
You'd do it that way. You'd turn your brush on the side and just pull it along so that it just catches along that.
Yeah, right.
Edge.
Yep.
For any of the folds, however, you would have to go and paint a very fine line.
Line hiding. Yeah, that's what Jeff says. Line highlighting, which is exactly
Yep.
What, David?
The wind.
Oh, also Roger Moore said he has to go. Off to some
bye,
training.
Roger.
Roger.
See you, Roger. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Also, Ryan did confirm that it's Jacques from Reaper Bones Civilians. Bonesylvanians.
Sylvanians.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
Excellent. Thanks, Ryan.
Good job, Jeff. John Miller with a few investigators and enemies from Simon's Cthulhu Death May Die.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. Also, John, is a new member, so welcome.
Yep.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, these look very cool.
Menacing, I might say.
Oh, definitely menacing. I definitely love the Lizzie Borden character there.
Yes.
The axe, swinging the axe. But no, looking good. I think one of the things that John's done here is he's done a great job of picking out additional colors. So the guy on the left with the gray suit is fairly sort of standard. Lizzie doesn't have a lot of additional opportunities, I guess, on the model, but I think like she's got a white collar around on a dress there. But yeah, with the next guy along with the shotgun, it's chosen a different color for the jacket than the pants, so it gives that it sort of says it's more of like a hunting jacket or a smoking jacket kind of thing. I can't quite tell from here, but I think there might be leather patches on the elbows.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Yep. But
I don't think we're gonna be able to know. No,
maybe not. But he's then gone and done the same sort of thing on the other two characters, and like, particularly the one on the right with that sort of goldish colored dress with the cream trim.
Yes.
Which sort of matches her necklace, and then the shoes. I'm not sure what it is hanging from the belt, her belt there, or might actually be
a
bow, and her hat, all sort of connecting. Is looking really good. Same as the sash and the scarf on the next to it. So I really like the way that he's pushing the to find those places to add those colors.
Yeah, no, it looks great. And I might be so bold to say I believe he used contrast color paints on here. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's why we're able to see, like, he obviously used the same reds for dress, sweater, and cloth here, and then the green. Well, and this is just the same green. But because of that, as a set, they look really...
they look very cohesive.
Which is really awesome. Yeah. Just something to think about even in a board game. To kind of bring them together. Create that Cthulhu Death May Die world, which I think is kind of cool.
Yep.
Great job, John.
And welcome to the group.
And then we have Michael Melody, a personal project I finished up recently. Nice photography, first off.
Yeah, the photography's great. And I think it's really enhancing the like the focal point created there around the face. But yeah, it's looking really good. And you see what Mike's done there with the there's the breastplate, so just below the face.
Okay. Yep.
You can sort of see that.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah, if you're able to zoom in there, that'd be great.
Yes, I can. Sorry about that.
No, by itch, like chewing into your painting time, but
I I'm over here trying to paint, and Dave's like subtly trying to hint. So the breastplate right by his face, and I'm like, yeah, I see it. It's all good. Yep.
So it's a similar sort of extreme as I'm working on here with this guy. Under the shoulder there, and under that yellow piece of cloth, it's much darker. It's almost black across that almost bright white next there. And it's all done with metallics rather than non-metallics, but that kind of thing all helps bring the focus towards the center, which is and onto that face.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's really smart.
Yeah. But yeah, looking really good there, Michael. And you can see as well the brightness of the yellow in that section. Yeah, just right underneath the breastplate there. It's much brighter than most of the yellow down in the shadows.
Yeah,
so
even over here.
Well, it keeps that focus in the center. You still know that that's yellow happening down here, but it doesn't grab your attention as much as that yellow, that bright yellow in the middle. But yeah,
that's really smart, playing with color like that, because your brain just kind of fills it in. Oh, it's all the same yellow.
Yeah.
Even though when you really look at it, it isn't.
Yep. Speaking of brain filling things in, I saw a photo on Facebook earlier this week of, it was a black and white photo that an artist had gone in and put like a grid over different sections. So they'd put a very faint green grid.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Over a t-shirt. And the t-shirt, when you looked at it, it looked like the t-shirt was green. And there was like a very sort of pale skin color over the skin, which made it look pinkish.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. So it was like, it was a photograph that was black and white. It hadn't been colorized as such, but it looked like it had been colorized until you zoomed in really close and we're like, oh, that's amazing. But yeah, they're just things that your brain does.
Your brain just fills it in. It's like, and actually this is the color.
In the blanks.
Yep. Excellent.
And now we have Robert Malik, Bones Black Thrasher Snail. And Robert had said he actually looked online to see, I didn't show a picture of the snail shell, but he looked at exotic snails to kind of replicate.
Snails are cool little creatures.
Yeah. Snails are wild. But yeah, this looks great. This one's got awesome personality. This one, it kind of reminds me of the grub from the Labyrinth, the worm.
Oh, I'm just a worm.
Just a worm.
Come inside, meet the missus.
Yes.
Oh.
It has that kind of that same sort of character. I'm sure it'll be like, rather than being like, come inside and meet the missus, it'll be, come inside.
See, with his face, I imagined he was like,
yeah, I don't imagine words. I just imagine like you meet the worm being all nice, and then you turn around and you see this, and you're like, does this one talk? And it's just garble.
Then it hits you with those.
Yeah.
This one's not a friend.
And he's actually the big bad boss. Like,
that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, no,
looking good.
I think you've done a great job there. Very cool, and excellent basing too.
We have Jason with still lots more to paint on Master Lazarus. So is that the same mini that we saw earlier?
Yep, this is a Blade Guard veteran. So this is I think like an Ultramarines color scheme. But,
okay.
So the blue, but yeah. So you can see that about rather than going for this, Jason hasn't gone for the same blue on the shield. It's a little bit darker. It doesn't have the it's almost a greenish kind of feel to the blue that Jason's got on his helmet there, or around the eyes in the helmet. But that shield is a little bit darker.
Mm-hmm. Or
yeah.
he has enough of the light blue here in the eyes that it contrasted from the.
It could be that. It could be that. But yeah, I think it's looking very cool. There's a good, a healthy mix of cool and warm colors there.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Good job, Jason.
Looking good, Jason. Very nice.
Chris Hood with the Scatter Terrain Tuesday.
I think
Nice.
Is this?
I think that that desk is from the Mantic Terrain Crate stuff. So
Oh, awesome.
It's possible Chris got this from Free RPG Day.
Very cool.
Yep. Yeah,
Loving the color books. Love that.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't really. I don't know if you can really see it, but basically, on this part of the mini, on the back side, you can kind of see that to help with the wood grain feel.
Yep.
You kind of added 2 different colors, sort of a pinky.
Right. Yep. Was it the dry brush over there, and then that wash to give
And
that...
it might actually even just be the original.
I didn't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? It's not the original paint. It might be a primer. That might be what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
He might have primed it.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yep.
We have
And
Mike
Wacky's back.
and Wacky and back. Thank you. Mike Becker with the Dark Angel Primaris Lieutenant.
Excellent.
Or Lieutenant, as they say.
Yep. In so over the last couple of issues that I've actually, let me check. It might be my Game Trade magazine for August arrived.
Oh, awesome.
And I think in this one.
For those of you who don't know, Dave writes mini painting articles in Game Trade magazine. If you're interested in seeing those or checking those out, be sure to follow Game Trade magazine, and also you can order it yourself to your house if you'd like.
So remember a couple of months ago we talked about contrasts.
Yes.
So this is about picking a color scheme. So actually episode 26, 27, and 28 are about picking a color scheme. And contrast. So because I came up with like 6 different contrasts that you could use, I didn't want to try and explain all 6 in one article.
Yeah.
But the first one I did was hue contrast, which are colors. So that's using the color wheel to get colors that are opposite. And tonal contrast. And the best example of that I've ever seen in miniature painting is the Dark Angels color scheme, which is what Mike's used here.
Oh, nice.
And so you've got the that deep green bounces against the red on his bolt pistol there, the casing on it, and also that little purity seal. You can see that red wax kind of seal there. But tonally as well, it works really well because the dark green works as the dark tone, probably like 70% of the miniature, 75% of the miniature there. And then maybe 15 to 20% for the, actually probably a little bit more. Let's say 20% for the bone. And then that red is that final little pop of 5%.
Yeah.
It's such a great scheme, and I think Mike's done a really good job of it here. Looks very cool. I'm just going to ask you to zoom in.
Yep.
On the.
Dan is prepared this time.
I am. Where would you like?
No, that's good. I think the last thing that Mike needs to do for this this thing is.
Mike, are you listening?
Hopefully, Mike's listening. He'll come back and listen. But the on the end of the barrel of the pistol there. Normally, I'd say drill it out and get a fine drill and drill out the barrel so that you can shoot a little bit better. But because you've already painted it, I would suggest go in and just paint a circle, like a little black circle in the middle of the end of that barrel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that then it gives the illusion that it
yeah, that it's a big bore barrel.
Yeah, Ryan says I love that color on the Dark Angel.
Yeah.
Looks so good.
Yeah, Mike's done a great job with that. And I love the little my mind's gone blank. Kind of the little heraldry bit on the knee pad.
Yeah.
And then you got the on the other knee pad, you got the black and white checks and the bone underneath it. But both like the white is distinctly different from the bone.
Oh, that is true. I didn't even see that. Yeah.
So I can't remember which Dark Angel character or chapter or group. So sorry about that. But,
It's okay. It's like ringing right in my ear.
Yeah.
That's something I can't control on my machine.
Oh, here, Greg Hogan with, look, big surprise, another one.
Thank God, veteran.
So I just thought that was kind of funny that there were 3 people. Obviously, it was funny when you said, "Oh, it recently came out." I was like, "Yes, I know, I know it did."
Yeah.
It's fun because each person has painted it very differently. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the purple is something really new. I don't know if that's just a color scheme he picked himself or
possibly. Yeah, I think there might be like soul drinkers or soul hunters or something like that.
Okay.
Or a purple scheme, but one of the things I love here is the purple and gold, of course. So
yeah,
yellow are great. Sorry. I have to remind my wife that she should not be texting in groups with me while the show's on.
Oh, it's okay.
But yeah,
life goes on.
It does.
Oh, sorry.
But no, Greg's done a great job there. I think all the colors are working well, and going for that darker, like the darker brown on the tabard there is an interesting choice. I think it might probably lift that up a little bit, make that a little bit brighter, because at the moment it's a very similar tone to the purple.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But it's still got some work. It's still sort of work in progress, I think. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing with the sword, which is just black at the moment. So throwing some silver in there might change that up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's looking great, Greg. Nice work.
We are coming towards the end of our show, and so I wanted to race forward through some of the minis that we have to a mini I grabbed from, here we go, Ryan, who has been watching this whole time. I just wanted to fast forward to his mini because Kat had told me that she wanted it on the show. So I wanted to be true to my word and have us talk about it before we close out today.
It is super awesome. And congratulations to all the other people that we flicked through.
Yes.
Can you zoom in?
Yes.
On this? I think we're going to spend a little time. There's a lot going on this model, so we're going to move around it a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's looking really good, Ryan. I think I'm loving the blue green on the feathers and the body. So like that, that vibrant blue on the head, and then down the front, but blending back to the green, and the green on the leg, blending up to the blue. And I think down the back there, if we looking at the tail, you've got the blue going into the green as well, looking great. And I think the basing does a really nice job here. That rock at the front, kind of with the pose of that model. Looking at it from this side, it's got it has a large open area under it, and by putting that rock at the front of the base there, Ryan's kind of almost filled that gap a bit. It doesn't look as awkward. I think it looks well. It doesn't look awkward. I think it could look awkward if there was a big gap there.
It helps balance out, I think,
that's the word I'm looking for. Balance.
Mini composition here.
Yeah,
which is nice. That's something that I think these dragons suffer from a little bit, is it's so heavy up here and their base doesn't really allow for you to put anything.
Right.
I would almost want to put it higher up and then have like something big at the bottom.
Something that balances it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you can definitely do that for sure.
True. I can't do that. Maybe I will.
Do it.
Do it. I also like that the gray in this rock and on the base is the same or very similar to the gray found in the armor and the cloth.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's a good connection point there. But I think Ryan's done a great job on this one.
Yeah, Kat says, "Thank you, Leona. This has so much happening in it," with which I agree.
It does.
There is a lot of small little pieces going on here.
There's a lot of colors, but it isn't garish, which is great. So Ryan's done a great job there of keeping the colors
They're just saturated enough.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, kind of using that gray to break up the brightly colored bird.
Yeah.
This isn't a bird.
Griffin, it's part bird.
It's a steed.
I think it's a 𝙬𝙬𝙀𝙬𝙀.
Oh, okay.
So it's not even. It's a mythological beast that has been GWified.
Ryan says, actually, that rock is a piece of wood that came from my grandparents' tree.
Cool.
Very cool.
Excellent.
You would not know it's a piece of wood.
No.
And you gotta love some gold in here.
Oh yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah.
With the red accents.
Works really well. One of the things that so I think the focal point of this mini is definitely the head of the 𝙬𝙬𝙀𝙬𝙀.
Mm-hmm.
And having that, there's like a crescent of gold starting from the top of the staff, working through the head and the shoulders of the rider and onto the breastplate for the thing, which really helps sort of push the focus towards that head.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying like here.
No, not that way.
This way?
So imagine that, yep, number 1 is the top of the staff.
Gotcha.
Yep. Number 2 is the head of the rider. Yep. Number 3 is the breastplate on the yep.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was realizing I was doing the wrong curvation.
Yep.
Curvature.
We get there.
There we go. Yeah.
So
super good color movement.
Yeah.
To bring your eye right here, and then you're like looking at that.
And also it's where the saturation is. The saturation on that blue compared to the desaturated greens and gray down on the other end.
Very true. Yeah, down here.
Nice work, Ryan.
Really great job, Ryan. It looks awesome. So for those of you who are interested, that we found all these minis from the Painting Happ Lil Minis Facebook group. Go ahead and join if you'd like. We had quite a few new members from our last episode, which is really fun. Be sure to give those members a welcoming hello. And if you are new, be sure to head over and ask to join. We love seeing what people are doing. If you have any questions about mini painting, be sure to ask. And a lot of people will be there to help you because people have different experience, and it is good to hear what other people have been able to do within their own mini paintings. So we are coming to the end of today's stream really quick. So Gretchen, would you like to showcase maybe what you've been able to do?
Speed painting. All right. So it looks less green than the beginning, but I guarantee you there is so much more work to make these. Oh, if I turn it this way, there we go.
Yeah, I think you can really see it that angle.
You can see the angles of the green actually matching the spines on top. If I turn it this way, the shadows take over. The elephant graveyard of shadows. But so all of these, hopefully, I'll get them all going down. You can see a little bit of dry brushing and color blocking on the tail to match his belly.
Oh, awesome.
And then I'm just going to continue building up that contrast on those spines. And then hopefully next week, the hard part, because it's really just the spines taking me so long.
Yeah.
The hard part will be done, and then I'll be free, and I'll just be dry brushing, and then I'll make it, I'll put the shifter paint on, and hopefully it will bring everything a nice emeraldy sheen with those natural highlights, and we'll see.
Yep.
We are excited. I'm excited.
I'll take pictures of it.
Because I definitely think the camera does not showcase, the coolness.
There's so much green in there.
All right. We also have Dave.
Okay. So this is a little bit darker because there was some odd lighting going on.
Oh, that's okay.
But yeah, you can see how compared to the previous one, where there were those larger, sort of sketchy, sort of brush strokes. This one's more refined, and it's not those edge lines aren't quite as bright. So I've toned those down a little bit by blending those back in. So now I get to go and increase the contrast back in those.
Cool.
Some sort of thin lines.
So are you thinking that you're going to brighten this strip up a little bit?
Yep.
Okay.
Brighten that back up.
But not in the same. Are you still going to use the little like kind of stroking brush?
I think there's probably opportunity for me to do one more layer.
Okay.
Kind of technique, and then come back with like a thin, not quite white, but almost white line.
Yeah.
Down on those. But
awesome. That looks really cool.
And you can see on the down on the thigh plate there, where it just had that thin line before.
It's
I'll put that back in.
He's almost non-existent down here.
Yeah.
Listen, get in that sheen, whether it's on metal or gemstone.
Yep.
It's
a slow process.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's super satisfying when you get it right.
God, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
No, it looks great.
You got it right in so many places.
I'm gonna send the dragon off with a note being like, "It's your problem now."
Well, thank you to everyone who has been watching and hanging in there with us. Thanks to everyone who asked questions while we were live. Really appreciate it. And if you're watching, post, be sure to type your questions in YouTube, and we will get back to them and answer them for you. So make sure you are following us on Game Trade Media. We have different live streams that are happening. We come back next Thursday.
We play games.
We play games. We're actually going to have a game playthrough this coming Tuesday. If you're interested, be sure to stop by Game Trade Media's channel at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. We'll be playing Blank Slate, which is like a party game, and it'll be super fun.
Do we get party hats?
Yes, we can get party hats. Well, you can get a party hat.
Just in a party hat.
Get some little bottles of wine and have a party.
Oh, yeah. Dave will not be with us next week. That's okay.
I won't be.
We will have a special guest. And so until then, make sure you're posting in the group. Say hello to us there, and we will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.